There's a blog on NeoCities written by Kyle Drake, it appears, that is phenomenal. First of all, he claims that he has slowed the FCC website down. He says, well, look, if they're against net neutrality, I guess they don't mind different sites being different speeds, right? So why don't I slow down your website, see how you like it, and you'll pay me money to unslow it down. You shamelessly speed up your website, forcing us to slow it down. Okay, slight Ferengi reference, but we're going to explain the Ferengi in a second. But first, let me explain what he's doing. He says, since the FCC seems to have no problem with this idea, I've gotten access to the FCC's internal IP block and throttled all connections from the FCC to 28.8, whatever that is. Can you tell I'm not very good with technical stuff, even though I care deeply about it? Okay, modem speeds on the neocities.org front side. And I'm not removing it until the FCC pays us for the bandwidth they've been wasting instead of doing their jobs protecting us from the Keep America's Internet Slow and Expensive Forever lobby. That is awesome and brilliant. Now, Tom Wheeler, the head of the FCC, a former chief lobbyist for the internet providers who now want the ability to be able to slow down all the websites and then charge extra money to speed them back up. Now, of course, Tom Wheeler made that decision. He was their chief lobbyist. Now, everybody's nonetheless in Washington is pretending to be like surprised, like, oh, really? Obama's guy did that? So they basically killed net neutrality, and now it gives the internet providers enormous power over the rest of us. And I love this turnaround. And he says, all right, well, look, man, I slowed your website down. Oh, you don't like that? I mean, I know you're not going to take legal action, right? Because that's the whole point of the rule that you're now passing, is that the internet providers can do that anytime they like. Oh, are you saying only the incredibly rich internet providers can do that and the rest of us are just have to take it, right? So you don't like it when the shoe's on the other foot. Well, no, it's okay though. It's okay. I'm playing the same game as you, and this is where the Ferengi come into play, right? If you never watched Star Trek, they're the people who break everything down into a transaction, into money, let's make a trade, etc. So the guy's saying, hey, let's make a trade, man. You give me the money and I'll speed your site back up. That's the exact rule that you're proposing for the American people, so I'm sure you're not opposed to it. God, that's brilliant, man. I love that. All right, he explains further. The Ferengi plan is a special FCC-only plan that costs $1,000 per year and removes the 28.8 kilobyte modem throttle to the FCC. We will happily take credit cards, Bitcoin, and doggy coin? There's no way I said that right. Okay, from crooked FCC executives that probably have plenty of money from bribes on our donations page. Sorry, we don't accept Latinum yet. Okay, so, and if you didn't watch Star Trek, I mean, you saw the sidebar there, but that's your Ferengi. If you want to make them happy and get a slightly better deal, you play with their ears. Okay, and they're confused as to why we shamelessly clothe our women, inviting others to unclothe them. Okay, can you tell I watch Star Trek? It's, again, very hard to argue with. Just pay the guy $1,000, man, and he'll speed your site back up. Does that make sense? Okay, of course, in reality, when they do that on a mass scale, they are rewarded for it by our government, which is, of course, intensely corrupt, run by these giant corporations that fund all of our politicians. But if you do it, believe me, they'll be pursuing you to the end of the earth. So this guy might have to step right next to Edward Snowden, hope there's an empty spot there. Look, I hope nothing comes of it, and it's so clever that they might just want to leave it alone. But he does say at the end, if it bothers you that I'm doing this, I want to point out that everyone is going to be doing crap like this after the FCC rips apart net neutrality. It's time for the web to organize and stand up against these thugs before they ruin everything that the web stands for. I'm going to call this blog on neocities.org an American masterpiece. Great job, love it, and I hope it brings the attention that is sorely needed to this topic and shows the obvious hypocrisy of the FCC.